So with the new MX5 found and purchased, it was time to collect the car and make a start. So you can see a photo here with the Micra before I got rid of it. Overall, the car wasn't too bad. From memory, I don't think it was too rotten, but the paintwork had definitely seen better days. One way to overcome the bad paintwork was to stick a load of grey urban camo graphics all over it to help break it up and take your eye away from all the bad bits. Those photos are from when we just fitted the TA Technic coilovers. Next was to extract a little bit more power out of the 1.6 power plant with a cheap 421 manifold and exhaust system. I managed to get some mini ultralights fairly cheap, and my friend Gav kindly refurbed the spokes and gave the lips a bit of a polish. These are really nice against the white paintwork, and the fitment was pretty good. The plan with the car was to use it to learn how to drift in, and luckily the Adrian Flux Arena wasn't too far from where I live, so that was the perfect chance to use it on a track in a safe environment and to learn the sport. At one of the practice days, I'd spun on the kidney bend in the middle of the circuit, and I ended up getting T-boned on the driver's side. So I repaired the wing and the door, and that's when I decided to paint the car in a military desert tan with a roller. I fitted a half cage from a company called TR Lane. These are built in the UK. I then had an idea of fitting a carbon fibre boot skin, which involved taking the top skin off the boot lid and then bonding it on. I also made some carbon fibre door cast to match. The front end seemed like it was missing something, so I fitted a Garage Valley replica front lip. These are very popular on the Mark 1s. Next came the interesting bit. I turbocharged the car on the driveway with some help from some friends. So I used a T25. I think this one was a Rover one from memory. There weren't that many parts back in the day on the shelf for these cars, so we had to make the downpipe from scratch. It didn't look pretty, but it did the job. I originally bought a kit that had most of the components in, but it was all haggled together. I fitted RX-8 420cc injectors, had a Mega Squirt ECU, standard inlet manifold, standard throttle body, and obviously the exhaust had already been done. I got bored of the vinyl and I decided to paint on some shark's teeth onto the side. I think this took a couple of days in total to do. The super lights just seemed too small for the car now, so I decided to upgrade to some 15s. These are some XXRs 530s. I believe these were the first ones in the country. The carbon skin boot lid decided to go cloudy, so I got rid of that and bought a KG Works spoiler that was already mounted onto a boot lid. So that got rubbed down and rolled the same military tan colour. I added some GTR inspired bonnet vents, as well as a vented headlight cover as well, and some Jazz Performance low profile headlights. The intercooler got an upgrade, this time with the outlets either side rather than having the 90-degree bend on the bottom. This gave me some more clearance underneath. Local company made a new bespoke shotgun style back box for me. This thing was pretty loud. I decided to cut away most of the dash and remove the radio surround in the middle and replaced it with a custom switch panel. The TA Technic coilovers got upgraded to some HSD dual techs. These were great on track, but a little bit too stiff for my opinion for road use. So 11 months after turbocharging the car, I went back to my first drift day with it boosted, and it was all going very well. And then I spun out again, funny enough the same corner as last time, and someone decided to try and drift around me and ended up clipping the passenger side. So I repaired the door and wing on that side, and then I decided to repaint the car again and went back gloss white. This time spending an unhealthy amount on carbon fibre panels. This included the bonnet, headlight covers, the boot lid, number plate panel and canards. The rear arches were cut and the two skins welded together, ready to fit the wide arches. I fitted a 13-row oil cooler with a thermostatic sandwich plate and also some P5 frame rail protectors because the frame rails are the lowest point of the car and these tend to get damaged quite a lot. I fitted some RX-7 feed inspired run and board side skirt extensions, as well as changed the wheels to some Rota RKR. These are 15x9 ET0 with a 195 50 15 tyre. The car was already pretty stripped out already, so I removed the seats and the dashboard and gave the floor a coat of smooth hammerite. This was just to help tidy up the interior really. The shale from the drift arena didn't help with white cars, especially the engine bay, so keeping it clean was a constant battle. But I've done some more tidying up of the engine bay and painted the rocker cover a baby blue colour. We were on our way to Peterborough for a car meet, and my other half noticed there was some smoke coming through the bulkhead. So I pulled over and realised that the engine bay was on fire. Luckily, someone in our convoy had a fire extinguisher, so we managed to put it out, but the damage was quite extensive. Looking at the wiring up close, a lot of it had been damaged, a lot of the plastics had been damaged. There was fire extinguisher powder everywhere. I just knew that this was it. This was the end of the car. I eventually got the car home and started to strip everything off. and I found the cause of the fire, which was the braided oil lines from the oil cooler had touched the live of the alternator, causing the fire. I decided not to repair the fire damage. The shell was pretty battered after the drift days and having door and wing repaired both sides, and obviously the engine fire. It was just going to be too much work, so I decided to call it a day, call it quits, take off what I could, sell what I could, and move on to the next car.